Well, he's fixing that. I'll go ahead. Here's what I meant by George's fancy, and it's just this. And if you know, and probably Coach Lil John there,
try it now, Joe.
He's probably fancy because he's got the athletes to do it. But I'm going to show you a picture of our skill guys, and you understand why we are very vanilla. But when I said George is fancy, it's really a compliment. George he's good enough to be a college coordinator on offense or defense. You know, when George is doing it, he's going to give you in his hoping list, he's going to give you multiple formations and multiple motions and see how you adjust and all the things that an elite high level high school or college coordinator would do. I am vanilla and simple. I don't want to show you a whole lot of weird stuff. I want to get you lined up. I want you to be where I expect you to be. And I'm going to add tempo. So you're going to see very little motion when you watch our games. You're going to see 2x2 and 3x1. We had one little jinky formation that we would mess around with, but we're basically going to show you 2x2 and 3x1, and then try to go faster and faster and faster once we get you lined up the way that we know where you are. To me, it's much more important for me to know where you are than to try to mess around with you and get you into weird formations and see how you align. I've got a very simple vanilla and I think the importance of this is if guys are getting into this thing new, it is very reproducible. And that until I had George, I made a living with young guys. You know, I'm in a rural single A school. I got a lot of young guys who either played for me or played at that school in the past. They're just cutting their teeth and learning the game. So I put a system together that allowed us to attack the entire field in the simplest way possible. This is how I break it down. And again, I'm talking simplest way you can do it. You can do it with young guys is I'm calling the plays from the sideline. I'm lined up behind the defense. My job is to dominate my sideline. I'm looking at the safety, the walk, and the corner. And I want to take every easy play that I can get on my side. Now, I have trouble seeing the other side of the field. I'm getting old, and if you're on a good crown, I can't see over there anyway. So I have my receiver coach up top in the box, and his job is to dominate the far sideline. He can see the far sideline. He's looking at the corner, the walk, and the safety. That's all he cares about. And his job is to take I want every quick screen, every hitch, every stick route. I want every easy play that I can get on that sideline is his job to call. Then my O-line coach is signaling the plays. He's standing about 3 yards behind the quarterback. And, you know, obviously we know it's where you are on the field, but he's trying to get 3 yards behind the quarterback so that the far wide receiver can see his signals. And his job is to dominate the box. And honestly, you know, I used to say this when I used to play wing T guys, and we still get them every now and then, but we used to play wing T guys, and I swear they would call every play they had, and then the one that worked, they would call that one the rest of the night. And that's kind of, you know, when we're putting together our open list, we're going to have a couple counters in there. We're a counter team. That's our number one run. And so we're going to script a couple counters in that open list just to see how they play the counter. But to be honest with you, you know, if you got a good O-line coach, he's looking at where the 1 is, where the 3 is. He's diagnosing that box. But the reality is, if the counter's working, we're going to run the counter that night. We're going to keep running it over and over and over again and until you can stop it. So that's how we're attacking the field. Is my job is to dominate my sideline. The box guy, his job is to dominate his side, the opposite sideline, and the O-line coach, his job is to signal the plays and to dominate the box and tell us what run is there, even though obviously we're knowing if we're running a counter, we're going to run a lot of counter.
All right, Joe, I got the picture. I got the picture of our offense.
I got a better one than that. I took one in the weight room of them not in their pads. But what I want you to see is that front row of kids right there. That's our skill kids. In that all those kids on the knee right there, there's a 100-catch receiver. There's a 3,000-yard passer. There's a 1,700-yard rusher. There's a 51-catch receiver. And then the two guys, I don't know, can you see my cursor? These two next to we got Joe in the middle. That's our X. He caught 100. He had the 100 catches. And then the two guys next to him, that's the Y and the H. But the point I'm making there is we ain't loaded with athletes. We got a bunch of skinny white kids, and they've learned the system, and they've learned how to go as fast as humanly possible to take every easy yard that's out there. And that's how we play football. So if you got, if you're blessed and you're at a place that's got athletes, I think you could rule the world if you had some athletes. But we're in a place we didn't have those athletes. So we've got a bunch of kids who play real hard and they go real fast, but we're just looking for the easy yards. Now, the drawback to the system that I just told you is you tend to not be real experimental. I was asking Coach Littlejohn about his favorite plays. We do a 4-day insertion. So we've got 4 runs, 4 screens, 4 quicks, 4 90s, 4 RPOs, 4 tricks. All right, that's all we have in our entire system. But when I do the end of the year breakdown, every single year, there's going to be multiple plays that we didn't run one single time during the year. So by using that system, that vanilla system of attacking the field, it tends to limit the calls that you're calling in the game, because like Coach said, if quick screens are there, we're going to run a ton of quick screens that night. If counter's working, we're going to run counter until you bleed. We're going to run vertical game, and we're going to run slants. Those are the bread and butter of our offense. But by attacking the field and with this system, you're just going to keep taking the gimmies over and over and over again, which in my book is smart football. But if you're a more creative guy like George, I know George felt stymied in that system a little bit. George is a read the grass guy and show him a lot of formations and motions, and it's not a real creative system. It's a real vanilla bread and butter system. But it's if you're in the situation that I'm in, where you got a lot of young guys. George is the first veteran coach I've had. Second. When I first got there, I had a D coordinator that was a veteran, and I let him run the defense. But George was the first time I had a real veteran on offense. Every other time, I've got straight rookie guys that are just learning the game, and this system has been extremely effective in that environment. Does that make sense? George, you think I can share this thing yet?
Hold on. I have to give you.
I just got a PowerPoint I want to take them through. I've just given you the
Go ahead.
bones of it, but I wanted to show wristbands and open lists and call sheets. I wanted to show some of that stuff, just the mechanics of how we do it. We're a wristband team. We don't do what Coach Littlejohn did. We had that system in the past where when you told them orange 1, it tells them run a 3-step slant. We had that system before, and that's good. I think that system was good in a first year situation, especially if you're coming in late. If you're like Coach, where you got a bunch of athletes out there, and you're going to you might have to put some new kids in there. Someone gets hurt. That's a perfect system for that. But I felt over time, and especially going into the second or third year, it started detaching. They stopped understanding concepts. All they knew was I have a mandatory outside release vertical. I thought they lost they lost the concept of what the entire play looked like. So on our wristband, it doesn't say 3-step slant. It says 92, or it says 25, which is our counter to the left. And I just wanted to show that. I wanted to show you that wristband. I just wanted to show you we are a wristband team. So that when we're signaling plays, we're signaling off the wristband. Now let's talk. I'll try to take you through this thing. Open list. Our open list is about 7 plays. And what it's come down to is I'm trying to script every skill guy a touch. And then I'm also trying to script a few shots, some things. And I know everyone who runs air raid knows. And Coach Littlejohn, you tell me if this was true for you, because even when you got stud athletes, about half the time they're going to run what you think they're going to run. And the other half of the time, they're going to come up with some whatever they think is the fantastical way to stop air raid. And it looks nothing like what you expected. Is it about the same for you still? I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, even in the state championship game, last 3 games we saw Buford. They had played off not too many man, and then they come out trying to play us, more in tight man coverage, man.
Right.
Where we had a plan to really get the ball in number 1's hand, we kind of worked more to our number 2s because they, had more grass. So, just a little bit of a change up, but we adjusted to it. But yeah, and they eventually got out of it because we went over the top and had to try them a little bit. But yeah, they definitely changed our initial game plan, which was the fast screen early and often. So
right. So that's the point is about that open list, those 7 plays. I'm scripting them for what they've been showing on tape, and I'm trying to get every skill guy a touch. And then I've got 2 or 3 shots that I want to take that against what they showed me. This is a good one. But about half the time it is, half the time we'll come out and they'll be exactly like we thought they were going to be. And we're taking our shots and we're getting our touches. The other half of the time, they come out completely different. So we gotta go back to the system that we're going to get to anyway. We were wanting to get through those first 7 plays. And we're, to me, the script and everything that happens on Thursday and Friday is about creating a routine to decrease the stress of the kids. I want everything to be the same as much as possible because I want them focused on executing and not worried about, what's fixing to happen next. I want it to be the same. So to me, the open list is almost more about, I don't want a kid coming up pregame on Friday, wondering what the first play is. I want them to know, heck, we practiced the open list 3 times this week. You know what the first play is. You know what the second play is. But sometimes, and obviously on open list, the first play is going to be the first play every time. But sometimes they come out completely different, and we got to start dominating the sidelines and dominating the box. But that's when I'm looking at open list, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get each skill guy a touch. And I'm trying to script 2 or 3 shots that I think are going to be big plays, big, touchdown potential, or at least big play potential in those first 7 plays. Then we switch over to that system that I just explained to you. I'm dominating my sideline. So, I think as we get older, we start calling plays to our sideline anyway, because we don't see as good as we used to. But in this system, that's my only job. My job is to dominate my sideline. On my open sheet, I've got some reminders down there for when the going gets tough. It says, number 1, breathe, and number 2, dominate your sideline and look at your corner, your walk, and your safety. That's my job. And so then the next part of it is because I'm not a formation guy and I'm not a motion guy, then the next part of it is tempo. And when we show you this game that we're going to show you, you can tell that we're going fast because the other team's not getting lined up fully. But as soon as things start going good, we start going faster and faster and faster. Now, unfortunately, there's nights we go out there and things ain't going good. And so we're not cranking up because we don't want to go 3 and out and only take 15 seconds off the clock. And now our defense is out there getting their tails kicked longer. So we will, we want to get a first down. We want something good to happen, and then we want to start going faster and faster and faster. But anyone in here who runs tempo knows that when your O-line starts telling you they can't handle the tempo, you got them. It's usually our O-line that'll come to the tent between series, and they're the ones saying, "Coach, to go fast. They're dying. Go faster." And so we just ramp it up even faster. But to me, it's more about tempo. So our way of running tempo is one-word plays. Where we're not looking at the wristband. We're just we got 5 to 10 plays that one word tells us to run that play. And in those 10 plays, we have a way to call freeze, and we have a way to say just run the same play again. And obviously, the fastest humanly possible way that we do it is to just run the same play again. And we actually have multiple ways of doing that. But that, to me, those two things are important, is to have the one-word plays to go faster, because with the new, and George, remind me, what's the play clock now? We've gone to that college play clock. It's a lot faster than it used to be. We used to say, in practice, you go 5 times faster than you do in a game. Well, now with that new play clock, you can get pretty close to as fast as you can in practice. We used to do the trying to get 30 plays in 10 minutes in our team period. So we were going super fast, but it was never that fast in the game. Well, now with that new play clock, it almost is that fast. But to me, I'm a tempo guy. I'm not a formation guy, and I'm not a motion guy. I'm a let's line up in 2x2 and 3x1, and so I know where they are, and then let's go as fast as humanly possible. So one-word plays for tempo, having a way to go freeze and to go same play again are keys to going tempo. When we're going regular offense, we're going wristbands with the signaler trying to be behind the quarterback and me be behind the defense. I dominate my sideline. The box dominates the opposite sideline, and the signaler dominates the box. Is our way of attacking the field. The open list, at least 7 plays, trying to get every kid a touch, and then always scripting in 2 or 3 shot plays. And you'll see that when we go through the tape, you'll see that I think we ran. It was a reverse week. We had a couple reverse plays on that we felt good about. And that was how we were taking shots that week. Usually it has something to do with verts. I'm a big, we're bread and butter. Like when I asked Coach what his favorites were, if you ask me what my favorites were, we're a counter team. We're going to run counter. I don't care if Dallas Cowboys show up. We're going to run counter. We're what Coach was calling fast screens. We're a fast screen team. You're going to see, matter of fact, this game that we're going to show you, we called 13 fast screens in it. We're a vertical team, what we call 96-4 verts that we're going to sell. We're going to hang the hat on going vertical. And then we're a slant shoot team, which in this game you see, we didn't throw a whole lot of them, but it's because we had some other things going on. So we're going to hang our hat on our bread and butter plays, and we're going to try to run those against everybody. And then we're going to try to go faster and faster and faster as the game goes, and try to just wear you out. And then the last thing, and the fast screens are so important because number one, we put, our 3 best athletes are going to be at X, Z, and running back. Those where our studs are, and we got to feed the studs. You know what they always say, don't think plays, think players. Well, our players are out there, the 2 outside receivers and the running backs. Those are our best players. So every time we throw a fast screen, we're throwing it to one of our best players on our team, and he's already on the perimeter with only 2 or 3 guys to beat to make a good play happen. And, I showed you the picture of our skill guys. We're when we were at places where we had more athletes, they would take those quick screens and take them to the house. It was not uncommon to have a 50, 60-yard touchdown off of a quick screen. Nowadays, where we are now, 3 to 10 yards is a good quick screen for us. But the beauty of the quick screens is you are forcing the defense to run sideline to sideline. And that, I think it goes hand in hand with tempo. Is that if you're selling, if you're hanging your hat on being a tempo guy, then the ability to run that defense, I've only got 3 or 4 guys that are having to run to be a part of that quick screen, but their whole defense is having to run. And Hal always said, even you throw quick screens even if they're not working, because you're tiring out their defense running sideline to sideline. And I'm a big believer in that. I've always been, especially since I've been at this school, just the concept of, we're going to drag you into the deep end and see if you can swim. And that, to me, I wish we could just run counter down people's throat, and some nights we get to, we'll run the counter 50 times at you if we can. But most of the time, the better athletes, George will tell you, there's nights we come in on Thursday night, and in North Carolina, you play the same team Thursday and Friday. So there'll be times Thursday night they roll in there and we'll be like, good God, you know what? Their JV looks better than our varsity looks. But it's a matter of, can you survive? Can that team that looks so good on the hoof survive the tempo? And can they survive running sideline to sideline 10 to 13 times and then have to get lined up and go again? So to me, that's my mindset on calling plays. It's as simple and vanilla. I know George was going crazy because he's a much more dynamic and creative guy, and he struggled. He struggled staying on his side. I was getting on him about talking too much on the headset because he's a see the grass and attack the field guy. But it's out of necessity after from having those young guys, and it gave me the chance. When halfway through the year, I had to put George on defense because we were struggling. And I took the linebacker coach. George went to linebackers, and the linebacker coach came over to offense. But I was able to every Monday I sat down with the quarterbacks and we went through every play of offense. And I was also able to do that with my box guy. I was able to sit him down and go through every play of offense and say, all right, look, here's my fear is on Monday. I look at the film and I say, man, we should have run more quick screens, or we should have run more stick routes, or we should have run more hitches. That's my fear. And so I was able to sit him down every Monday and say, all right, look right here. This was a gimme. This is what a gimme looks like. I want the free yards. I want the cheap yards over and over and over again. And then the other one was, and this is, whether you're the OC or the head coach, I'm a little hard-headed. So I had to help him on what words to say to get me to listen to him. So sometimes he would be saying it. He was a kid who played for me, so he didn't get real loud on the headsets like George was all the time. So I had to coach him up on, if you really want this play, you need to say it this way. To get me to listen to what he was saying, because I'm zoned in on my side, and I wanted to be able to make sure when he was seeing a give me, to get me to hear it and to call it. So that's without showing the PowerPoint, that I think that covers most everything. We did a simple system, wristbands, one word plays, open list.